Hello, my name is Ioannis. In this tutorial, we are going to learn two new techniques. One technique is selecting the green portion so we can add one life on our missing lives. And the second technique is once we selected the blue portion, it doesn't really matter how many lives we have or our lives will fulfill. Okay, let's get started. Let's go to the event sheet. I'm going to add a new event. I'm going to select my SPR player and on collision with another object. The object is the green portion. Done. Now once the player collides with the green portion, I'm going to add an action, a system action, and then I'm going to set add to deaths -1. Basically, we're taking a value, one of the values from deaths. So if deaths is equals to 3, it's game over. So basically every time the function we created before, the previous lesson, we add in one value to the deaths variable every time our player collides with the enemy. So therefore, if we say here -1, we'll take a life back. Let's test it. So if I die, oops, I died twice there. And if I go here to my portion, I took one life, and if I bypass my portion again, I take another life, and if I bypass the portion again, I take another life. So my variable deaths now is -1, and if I pass it one more time, it's going to be -2, which means that if I die now, it's going to be -1, but I will not be able to see anything from above goes. So I'm still on -1, so if I die again, I'm on 0, which means that if I die one more time, I should be able to see here the lives going. Okay, so basically my lives is not working as expected. So in order to fix this issue, we need to add a new event, a system event, and I'm going to compare a variable. The comparison of the variable will be the deaths variable, and I'm going to make sure that if the deaths variable is less than 0, so if it's -1, -2, -3, I want automatically this variable, oops, I want automatically this variable, so I'm going to add, let's do it again, I'm going to add an action, a system action, and set a value to the deaths 0. So if my deaths variable is set to -1, automatically by adding this line of code here, automatically will change the -1 again to 0. Let's try again. Okay, I'm dead. So I took the life. Now I can take as many lives as I would like. Automatically this extra line of code that we put it will set to 0. As you can see, straight away I can lose lives. And if I go through here, I can take up to the 3 lives. But if I lose once, my life goes. Okay, so far so good. Now the next thing we need to do is when the player collides with the object, which is the green portion, I want the green portion to be destroyed. So I'm going to double click on the green portion. I'm going to make sure this green portion is destroyed so the player cannot take it again. Now the problem we have is if we do that, we destroy the portion, but if we basically kill it again, we'll go through again, I can actually take the portion again. What if I don't want to take the portion again? I want to, what if I want the players not to be able to take the portion again until the video game starts from scratch again? Now, in order for us to do this, we need to add here, oops, let's cancel that. We need to right click here and add a new global variable, and I'm going to call this global variable SPR1life. Then Here I'm going to add another action, so when the player collides with a portion, I'm going to add another action. I'm going to say system action, add to, from the drop down list select SPR1 life, so I'm going to put the value of 1. Then I'm going to add a new event, and the event will be system event, compare a variable, and I will say if the SPR life is greater than 0, if that's true, this means that the player has already selected the portion, because if the player selects the portion, we add in this value of 1 onto our global variable called SPR1 life. So if the SPR life is greater than 0, which means 1, 2, etc., then I want this SPR1 life to automatically be destroyed. I don't want the player, to be able to receive this again. So let's test it. Okay. So I'm just going to take my life. I'll kill myself again. And the life is gone. So it doesn't really matter how many times now I'm going to go. Now, if my game restarts, so my video game just restarted now, the portion is available again. Okay, so the next thing we need to do is apply similar functionality to our blue portion, but the blue portion will fulfill all our lives. Remember, when we start the video game, the deaths is equals to 0. If the deaths is equals to 0, it means that let's go to layout, let's double click here. If the deaths is equals to 0, this means that we have full lives. If it's 1, we have 2 lives. If it's 2, we have 1 life. And if it's 3, we have no lives, the game restarts. So basically, when I select the blue portion, I want the variable to go back to 0, which means that I've got full lives. How do we do this? Let's go to the event sheet, add a new event. The SPR player, on collision with another object, the object is the blue portion. Done. I'm going to add an action, and the action is add to -1. We will not do this. This is what we did before. What we need to select is not the add to. We need to select set value. Click next. And we need to make sure the value is set to 0. So basically, we're resetting the deaths to 0. Let's click OK. Now, let's try again to test the game. So, I've lost 1 life, I've lost a 2nd life. Let's lose 1 more life here. If I take my full lives here, the blue, okay, I'm resetting it to 0. Let's try again. Okay, so I'm resetting my variable to 0, which means I've got full lives. So the next thing we need to do is make sure that this is destroyed. So I'm going to add a new action. I'm going to select the SPR full life, and I'm going to set it to destroyed. So I'm destroying the filter. Then I'm going to add another event, system event. I'm going to compare the variable, and then I will say if we need to create a new global variable. So I'm going to right click, add a new global variable, and I'm going to call it SPR full life. Basically what we're doing is what we did before with a single life, and here we're going to add an event, and we're going to say system event, compare variables, and then we're going to say if SPR full life is greater than 0, so it's exactly the same function we add in. If that's true, this means that the player has already collected the blue bottle. So I need to put here another action. So when the player collects the blue bottle, I want the system event add to SPR full life the value of 1. So if I'm selecting the blue portion, I'm going to make sure that my variable SPR full life is got 1 value. The value is set to 1, which means here the system event will say if SPR full life is greater than 0, so once I've collected it will be greater than 0, then I want the SPR full life to be destroyed. Let's play. So I took my life here. Let's die. And again. Oops. I restart my game. I need to learn how to play my game here. Okay. Let's try to take the portion again. Okay. Okay, I took the portion here. So if I die, okay, as you can see I cannot take the portion again. Now if I die, and if I die one more time, as you can see here my score is getting bigger and bigger. However, if I die now, my game will start from scratch, so the lives, the deaths variable, global variable set to 0, and my score set to 0. Where if I die here, I still have the value of 7. Now, one more thing we need to fix is when we collecting coins and we die, we have here the score of 0. However, the variable, the global variable coins, is still, the score is still valid, but it's only going to activate once we collect the first coin. Have a look here. 5, 6, 7, 8, and if I die here, 8, 9, 10. Now, as you can see, we have an issue there, and the issue is it doesn't display this straight away. So what we need to do here, we need to add a new event, a system event, on every tick. The action will be the text, set text, the type score, space, and score. So on every tick, we want to make sure that the score there is displayed. So let's play. As you can see, I died. The variable is still there. However, when I die completely, okay, this is an issue that you might have when you're actually moving from one layout to another layout, from one level to another level. So make sure you will have applied on every event seed, if you use multiple event seeds, the system on every tick. You select the text and then you set the text to score plus the actual score. And don't forget to put a space here so you can actually have, this is the text that is displayed. Anyway, hope you've learned something new today. Thank you for watching. Bye.